Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee focused on connecting the community through conversation. Today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about something interesting and intriguing. And tonight, our topic is artificial intelligence versus spirituality. My guest is Brother Weser Khufu. Brother Khufu is having a little bit of a technical issue, so we're gonna just talk a little bit before I bring him on. But before I do, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? Please, in the comments, put your city and state so we can give you a shout out. I see my brother Joseph Ward, who is here in Tallahassee on the shoulders of giants, tuned in and ready to learn. Happy Monday, my brother. I appreciate you so much. So I know that folks will be chiming in. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and your comments and questions are welcome. And while we are waiting on Brother Khufu to, resolve his technical issue, I want to hear from you. I want to know, what's your thoughts on AI and what's your thoughts on spirituality? I did a little bit of research prior to this conversation about artificial intelligence and spirituality. And when I Googled it, it talked about artificial intelligence processing information. And while it can sift through billions of data points and offer insight, it cannot provide spiritual wisdom, which involves discernment. And so I have been to information sessions on AI and have been told that AI is taught to respond. Doesn't mean the answers are necessarily going to be correct based on what the prompt is that you are seeking a response about, but it's going to respond. So I think that's kind of where we find ourselves in a little bit of a pickle, because many of us are treating AI like it's all knowing, almost like it's God. So something to consider. All right. I see you, Letitia. Thank you for being here. Happy Mindset Monday here in Tallahassee. So please like, share, tag a friend, let them know they need to be on here. We are getting ready to embark upon this conversation about artificial intelligence versus spirituality. Artificial intelligence versus spirituality. Now, Brother Khufu, I have had many a conversation with him, and some of his thoughts around AI are that it has no soul, and so its ability to discern and have that the spirituality that we possess is impossible. And he would recommend that we get back to nature, back to astronomy, astrology, and the natural sciences, um, and the things of the universe. So, again, I'm hoping that he will be joining us very shortly, and will be able to present his thoughts and feelings about things. I see you, Brother Nick Rains. Thank you for joining us here in Tallahassee. And my mom is on down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Ma. So I'm going to sidebar just a little bit from that topic. Again, as we are waiting for Khufu to work through some of his technology issues, which I think is such a coincidence that he would be having technical issues as he wants to talk about AI versus spirituality. But it's Black History Month, y'all. So I want to know, what are some of the Black history things that you all have been involving yourself in? We are a little more than halfway through the month. And I know there have been many activities here in Tallahassee and a few more to come. We got Harambe coming up. We got the Black Business Expo coming up. We have Brownsville with their annual Black History program. So, what are some of the Black history events that you have been involving yourself in? I'll tell y'all, I have been to Bethel AME twice this month on a Sunday, and they pay tribute to some of the Black history makers that are within their congregation. Hold on one moment, y'all. All right. I think we got Brother Khufu, so y'all hold tight. Let's see. Brother Khufu.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty.
That's what I say about technology now. AI. This is in same. It's in the same league with AI. This technology, it's good when it's working, but when it's not, it's trouble.
It's trouble. All right. Well, we got you on here. So, Brother Khufu, tell the people who are you? Not what you do, but who are you? Who is Brother Khufu? Weser Khufu. Tell us who you are.
Oh, my name is Weser Khufu. I'm a native of Tallahassee. I'm a builder by trade. I've been in building for 61 years, and I'm getting out of it this year. Uh, I've been studying in the ancient Egyptian civilization for the last 40 years, and not just studying, I live it. And this is what I believe. I've been practicing a lot of the culture, and I know everything what we've been through, and a lot of time I look at this AI and a lot of technology as a white man trying to play God and keeping us thinking that he's the superior one, and through technology, he pull us away from our real power, and our real power is through spirituality. That's what I believe, and I have found my success has really been in the study of my ancestors, of practicing the spiritual systems,
Mm-hmm.
and things that you will normally see in this world, but we've been programmed through slavery, colonization, racism. We have no idea the power that we have, and we are God's first children. Now, I was watching something on AI the other day, and they asked AI if they could come back, what race would they come back? And it was in an AI chat,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them said they'll come back as a black person, and they told them why. And said
Interesting.
all other races come from us, and you can check the DNA and everything. Uh, Everybody came from the black man.
Mm-hmm. So, and let me pause. I see Warren has joined us. Thank you for being here, Warren. So, what would you have us do, Khufu? I mean, you got um, young people now that don't know the way that you are describing. All they know is technology to some extent. So, what would you? How do you propose that we uh, tap into the spirituality that you speak of?
We have been, if you look back from slavery, or and even look at segregation, Jim Crow area,
Hmm.
we were grounded because we stayed working the earth. We were farming. We were working with our hands. We were grounding ourselves back to the earth by sticking our hand in the dirt. And
Hmm.
this is something that people don't think about. We are electricity. We are fire. We have to ground ourselves. And by doing that, you stay in touch with nature. You're out in the sun, uh, just getting out of the hustle and bustle and getting where you can just sit down and still your thoughts, where you can really just get away from this rat race. It's all about money. Everything is about money today. And
Okay. So when you say connect with nature, you say sit in silence.
yeah,
I'm trying to give the people some practical stuff. So
yeah,
I'm trying to slow you down a little bit just so that they'll
okay.
know what you're talking about.
Just walk barefooted. So I'm making the sand pit so
Mhm.
people can just sit in by the water, sit in the sand and just sit, put their feet, take the shoes off, and just ground themselves. I mean, you would be able to feel the difference with your feet going directly to the earth. It makes a difference. I work in construction. Everything has to start from the ground. So the foundation, it has to start from the ground. And I'm constantly in working in the earth, it's digging the foundation, laying blocks or whatever.
Mhm.
Uh, and this is something that I just do habitually. I get up in the morning. You can call me in the morning. I say not the weekends. In the morning, you could call me at 5 o'clock. I'm up.
Okay.
Uh, I try to get up before the sun, and a lot of time full moon. I'm out there looking at the moon. A lot of times when I was a kid, just imagine imagination. Then you like what's out there. All the kind of stuff shaped me to where I am today. Curiosity.
Mhm.
Uh, and understanding math and science. Most of us are afraid of math, but math, you got to know math to really be creative.
Mm.
And I look at science as just arrangement of mathematics.
Mhm.
Everything gonna come back to math. When in the creation, everything gonna deal with math. That's my belief.
So what do you say about maybe these machines or these systems that can process the math faster than human beings can, or can calculate the science faster than human beings can do it, so that it'll free up human beings to do other things that they want to do?
Well, that's all in economics. That's the whole thing of money, and that feed greed. In
Mhm.
our spiritual system, greed is a disease that has no cure. A greedy ship would never reach dry shores. That's in sacred wisdom in the ancient Egyptian spiritual system. And,
Okay.
and look at the food, the mass production of food. They
Mhm.
talk about in Africa, people hungry, but all we do, we producing food to fill our belly, and we eat, and a lot of the stuff, the nutrition is out of it. Look
Mhm.
at a lot of your veggies that you grow; they have no seeds in them. Seeds is a natural way of growing things. Most of
Indeed.
the stuff is hybrid. And I plant hybrid. I'm not gonna say I don't plant. I plant hybrid
Mhm.
products, but I prefer having the heirloom seeds
Okay.
because I can save them for the next year.
So let me pause. I see Sambaza has joined us from Dallas, Texas. Good evening. Thank you for being here. My sister Latanya in ATL is here as well. And Miss Tracy Gole, who is either here or in Pensacola. Thank you for joining us. So we're talking artificial intelligence versus spirituality. So give us your thoughts. I want to hear from the viewers. What are your thoughts about that? When you think about artificial intelligence versus spirituality, maybe artificial intelligence is mimicking spirituality, even though it can't, because it does not have discernment, doesn't have a soul, doesn't possess spiritual wisdom. Um, share your thoughts if you don't mind, viewers. Let us know. We got Miss Daryl Scott on. Thank you for being here, Miss Daryl, and Miss Keisha Washington. Greetings here in Tallahassee as well. So, all right, I'm taking notes, Khufu. So you talking a lot of things in terms of solutions, and this is a lot. Connected with nature, sitting in silence, farming, knowing math and science. You mentioned. What are some other things we can do?
You know, the word itself, artificial. You know, it's artificial. It's not real.
It's not real.
And you know, I'm at peace. You know, I've been studying in my spirit. I have powers. See,
Mhm,
I don't need nobody to tell me who I am. Beg nobody. Everything now is set up in this system, like they say, grants. I work a lot with kids. I do a lot in my community out of
mhm.
my own pocket, and
Okay.
not because I want something in return. I'm tired of spending all of my money. I haven't been on a vacation since 2009. And
Mhm,
right now I'm working down at my place. You know, it's just when you look at it, I've been broke in 48 times.
mm.
I had the speakers on the stage, but we use them for entertainment and all.
Mhm.
Somebody came and stole those 2 weeks ago,
Oh
and
wow.
it was us. It wasn't the white man. It was us. And that spiritual thing, we need to start. Uh, that's how we change. Back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, we were the seed of spirituality in America. We were
Mhm.
the consciousness of America. Soon as we integrated, we started doing a lot of this stuff that was out of the norm for us. So I mean, I'm kind of talking off the top of my head, but you know, we need to get back to nature. Uh,
Okay.
no, if I could,
So talk to me a little bit more about what that looks like. Again, you and I have had conversations about what it potentially looks like, and I think what we might be challenged with is people saying, "Well, that was back then. We have now machines that can do a lot of this work, and so why should we maybe toil like our ancestors did? Uh, you know, working the land or whatever the case may be, because we could be utilizing our skills for something else."
okay, I give a good example. Off the coast of West Africa, the
Mm-hmm.
Chinese, the Japanese, all of them with their technology. Whereas when we went out, we had to use our spiritual senses to kind of
Mm-hmm.
figure out where the fish would be at. They have all this technology with.
Uh-oh. All right. We got a little connection issue. Hopefully we can resolve that. I see a few folks chimed in. My cousin Whit in Portsmouth, Virginia. Thank you for being here. And Warren said he's talking about stuff I've heard but never really studied. Tonight I'm taking notes. Yes. Yeah, Khufu is a wealth of knowledge. Let's see if he can. I'm uh I'm going to let him come backstage and hopefully we can work out his connection issue. But I'm interested in hearing from you all. I think that I agree with some of the things that Khufu speaks on, because I think that there are a lot of things that are maybe genetically modified, or that um, really don't mean us any good, right? But there's a balance, right? Because we since the industrial revolution and then the technology revolution, um, we are doing things which would appear to be faster or better, but he's challenging some of that, right? And Keisha is actually Khufu's cousin. She talking about AI done took Khufu, show did. All right. Warren, he said, this is probably my only comment. AI has been a blessing to the world because the world has lots of spirituality in many ways, and now it's a microwave society. AI gives microwave results. You got to check it though. You do, because AI is has been stated already, is only as good as the information that is put into it. And there is, I mean, the artificial intelligence data has been collected for many, 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 many years, right? And I think in different formats as well. So we got Michael Cork on. Thank you for being here, Cork, who's here in Tallahassee. And I think Khufu has worked out his connection issues. So let me see if we got him back. All right, there we go.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It's something about maybe this conversation we should be having if they
We
want
should
to.
listen. We need to have it in person, right?
Yeah, yeah, maybe. But I was saying, like, also West Africa, all right, this technology, they have all these sonos, and they can see where the fish are. They even have freezers and ship on the ship where they catch the fish. I mean, they're draining the coast. And the fishermen from West Africa, they were saying they go out now when they used to catch abundance of fish. The foreigners are sweeping, dragging it in the ocean, and they aren't getting many fish now.
Mm.
Look at, and you said we talking technology, when we talking food now. Look at all your chickens, turkeys, and hogs have pink eyes and white skin, the hair on them. And
Mm.
anything with pink eyes, you know it's been grafted. It's a
Mm.
weakness of it's been grafted. They mass producing all this food, and
So you talking real fast. Let me pause you. I want to hear from these
okay,
listeners, viewers. Are you all aware of what Khufu was talking about? That it's the he said the fish
the
or
fish, yeah,
in,
they getting all this technology to help them locate the fish. They
mhm,
got drag nets. They're making these big nets, and they just drag in the ocean. What they don't want, they just throw it back. It's already dead when they throw it back.
mm, mm,
And now the indigenous people on the West Coast are complaining about they aren't getting any fish now. We were getting abundant fish. This technology is helping somebody get rich, but it's killing the man that's living within nature. You know,
gotcha.
we
Okay.
go we fish. You can't catch but one redfish, but the commercial people catch as many as they want. Pepper
Mm.
trout in size limit. I'm just saying the laws are against people like who actually live off the earth.
Gotcha. All right. Keisha said, wow. Tracy says she doesn't see a connection between the two. AI, although is made up of human concepts and information, it does not and cannot process a uniquely human characteristic of spirituality. So help Tracy see the connection or the disconnect. And I think really it is you are arguing that there's a disconnect there.
It's a disconnect because your real power, AI is really going to take a lot of people's jobs. It's just whatever, and a lot of the AI that the information that they put in there is set a lot of it discriminate against us, you know. And you look, the people they most of the people in Kenya, Uganda, these are the people that putting that information in, and they complain about they get paid pennies for all the work they're doing. They go to these so-called third world countries and
Mhm.
get them to do all, and they have to code a lot of information to get a way around the answer. But they giving them the information to put in. So whoever put the information in, they could get the result that they want.
Mm.
So and you know, like AI would say a robot, say you got a robot in your house as a maid or whatever. You
Mhm.
get up in the morning and the robot just sees you a figure. Good morning, Miss Nicole. He don't
Mhm.
know whether it's a good morning. He don't know how you feel when you get up in the morning. He's your program. He see an object and he's your
Mhm.
program. Time in the morning. You say this to them. You don't
Mm.
have no feeling about it. You know,
So Khufu, are you concerned that the machines are taking over?
I'm not concerned because I'm spiritually connected with the universe. And there's something happening now. Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump is still there for a reason. Donald Trump has exposed a lot of this. And like white people see what we went through during slavery and the
You saying
things with,
they're experiencing that now?
pardon me,
Are you suggesting that they are experiencing that now?
they're experiencing that now. They're
Mm.
experiencing that now. Everybody had their foot on the black man neck, the Asians. I'm hearing how people apologizing for what their parents taught. They in order to maintain power when the Asians they pit everybody against us. Watch out for the black people. They this, they that. They lazy. They don't work. We built this country. And it's time for us to take our power and understand who we are and reconnect. Man, I love Africa, and ain't nobody can. Everything happened in Africa. You got to go back to Africa if you want to know the truth. If you want to seek the real power, you got to go back to all these civilizations we had. Not just the Egyptians. You had the Yoruba. You had the Mali, the Dogons, and look at the Dogons. And I was and the thing of what you feeding yourself. You want to feed in order to gain wisdom. You got to have knowledge. Wisdom of what? If you don't have no knowledge, what are you going to get the wisdom of? And then you have to live a certain way. Like we have the deity in Egyptology called Ma'at. She's over truth, righteousness, balance, harmony. When you live Ma'at, she's the law that the forces pass down from heaven for man to live on earth. This is what I believe. But when you live Ma'at, you have the key to Tahuti, who's over divine wisdom. And when you get the wisdom is what I'm telling you, it helps you to make better decisions. It guides you. It opens your horizon, and then that creative factor, being able to create. See, this man hadn't done. The white man, I'm sorry, and I'm not picking on him, but he's done nothing but murdered, killed, and raped our people. And when the Indian did the same thing. Look at the Japanese, look at the Chinese.
You're saying that this was done to the Indian or the Native, Are you saying that this was done to the Native Americans? What?
Native American and the Indians in India. The British, look what the British done to them.
Gotcha. So we got quite a few comments. So let me pause you just for a moment. Keisha, she said, with Khufu's comment, AI in some areas are replacing what baby boomers used to do, and she said they're dying out. We got Janita who joined us. Thank you for being here. Ross clocking in from Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. And Frank Hill, he said, evening, reconnect. Nature is truth. Thank you for joining us, Frank Hill. So we got Tiffany on with us. She said, I encourage everyone to go watch either version 70s or 90s of The Outer Limits. Many of the episodes deal with what happens when human consciousness is taken over by artificial intelligence. Okay, I have to check that one out. I'm not familiar. The Outer Limits. If anybody's seen The Outer Limits, which is what Tiffany is suggesting, let us know. All right, Latanya, she said technology started dumbing people down. A lot of young people 35-ish and below do not know how to read a paper map, don't know their directions, don't know phone numbers, don't know how to make change. Even the younger ones don't know how to tell time with hands on the clock, write or read cursive, etc. Steve Jobs did not allow his children to have smartphones or iPads. The lack of critical thinking is very detrimental for our children. All right. I think she is saying the same thing that you're saying. Sister Janelle from Fort Lauderdale, peace. Thank you for being here. Keisha, you don't have to be affected by threats when you have the power to make change. What is it that you want change? Good question. Tracy, she said, I read that AI data centers can use as much electricity as 100 1,000 households and 5 million gallons of water a day. This will impact the whole world. Who pays for that and who suffers when resources are scarce? Another great question. So my mom just said, "No, I'm not aware of these things. However, I don't want artificial anything. We can't trust much of the information we see or hear on social media." Very, very true. Or at least it definitely causes you to question it and check it, at least attempt to fact check it. But we have so much information coming at us, right? On social media, on television, on the radio, on all of these outlets, right? And so our brains aren't processing all of that information real time. Maybe we see it and we move on. Maybe we'll pause and attempt to process it or put it in the different categories in our brain, but it's a lot. All right, Janita said, "I'm late to the party. I'm confused by the conversation title AI versus spirituality, waiting on a halfway point recap." All right, well, here we are because we're a little bit past halfway through our conversation. I am on with Brother Weser Khufu, who is here in Tallahassee. He is a general contractor, but also a great mathematician, scientist, and a practicer of the African spiritual tradition. And our topic is artificial intelligence, also known as AI versus spirituality. We have talked about how technology is taking over, how AI has no soul, how we need to get back to the earth and nature and science and math and astronomy and astrology, and farming and sitting in silence and learning and knowing math and science. And so these are the things that we have been chatting about over the last 30 minutes or so. Janelle, AI, I believe, is utilized with hopes that we question what we know to be true. Mm, I think I think you are correct, Janelle. All right, Kufu. So where do we go from here?
One of the things, we studied blueprint of cars, of houses. What's the blueprint of man?
Mm,
And that nobody look the understand the blue. It's seven spirits. This is my belief, and I have found power in knowing just a blueprint of who I am. And we have a deity called, you have divine power, divine wisdom. In
mm-hmm,
Egyptology, the woman represent divine power. The man
mm,
represent divine wisdom. And in order to have divine power, you have to have the wisdom, know how to create it. When we talking about the will, your will, what drives you? Uh, in our spiritual system, the divine power, divine wisdom, you have an aura around you. You have a film around you when you say, I don't know, I got some bad vibration from that person. I got
mm,
some good vibration. It's that spiritual thing. I remember one day I'm always out, and I've been so around so many times I could have got bit by a snake. And I was fishing one day, and I threw my a cork out, and they got hooked. I say, let it go. And then something, go get your cork, back and forth. And I'm standing right here. Here go a big moccasin under the
mm,
grass. All I had to do, if I step one step, and the spirit told me, it say, step back. It say, step back. And I stepped back. It say, stick your rod. And I took the rod, and that big moccasin just jumped right. I fell down, backing up the hill. But
mm,
I've seen enough to know that our ancestors, we are the first of iron. We're the first on this earth. Everybody else came from us. And our antennas, we got receptacles that have been beaten out of us through slavery that we know nothing about. But when we they severed thousands and thousands of years of high power, high consciousness through slavery, colonization, racism. But
mm,
they don't know that, like with the seed, some of us, when they were bringing us over here, some of us, as a seed, that seed in us for 5,000 years. And when the
mm,
right nutrients hit it, it's just like it was 5,000 years ago. Whether you want to believe it or not, I believe it. And
mm,
it's just it's so much like astronomy and astrology. we have been taught through the Christian faith it's taboo. But you look, every 24 hours, you have night and day. Every 24 hours. Every
Mhm.
28 days, you're going to have a full moon.
Right.
Every 365 days, the earth circles the sun. And
Mhm.
all that astronomy is a movement and location of celestial bodies. Astrology is the energy that those locations and movement give off. And that's all based in the spiritual realm.
So speaking of ancestral bodies, we got Sister Ebonice on. She said, "Peace and blessings, everyone. There is good and bad in everything. Use discernment in all areas of life. AI will be a brief episode as soon as the solar storms will take out all of technology." Hmm.
Very
Okay.
true. All
Wow.
the satellites out there, all the satellites out there, everything is based on them satellites. So you knock those satellites out, all the weaponry and everything they have, unless they got a base station on Earth that's hardwired, it serves no purpose.
So she said we must learn to have balance to disconnect from any distractions that disconnect us from nature and the kingdom of God that resides within us. So I know for probably the average viewer, this is probably going to be a little heavy, right? So, I really, again, because I had these conversations with Kufu from time to time, and I try to get him to like slow it down and break it down, and give us some practical things to do. So, which is why I keep coming back to what can we do? What are the next steps? I think Sister Abonichi just, you know, said it in her own way as well, but it is important for us to connect with nature, because if what if AI went away? What if the technology went away? Where would we be? What would we be doing? I want the viewers to let me know. What would y'all be doing if the technology went away? We can exist without it. Would we know what to do? Would we know how to grow our own food? Would we know how to, I don't know.
See,
Wait, I'm pausing
okay,
because
okay,
I'm
I'm
giving them a
sorry.
moment to respond, Kufu, as I want them to really hear what I'm saying. Will we know how to tend to animals, and or get with the people that do this work, with the farmers, with the herders, or the folks that do that work. I have one of my dad's older sisters um used to can. She passed, but she used to make all sorts of things: applesauce, apple butter, tomatoes she would have in a jar, and just all sorts of things, the preserving of the things that they harvested, because they grew up in rural Virginia. And I feel like it left with her because we didn't pick it up, you know? But we can, we can. So what would we do? Brother Ozzy is on with us, who's in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Thank you for being here, Ozzy. We're talking artificial intelligence versus spirituality. And we got Brother Khufu on with us, who's here in Tallahassee, who is all for spirituality. All right. Sister Ebonici, she said we must learn more about our own electrical system called chakras. We must stop giving the power of our food and products to others. We are too trusting of the products we buy blindly. Mm. We are too trusting of the products we buy blindly. Very well said. All right, Frank Hill. It will be an initial shock, but we will thrive. I agree. I agree. I agree. Michael Cork, humans' ability to adapt has always been the innate response to change. I would bet on humans, especially those of African descent, would make the necessary changes needed to survive. Okay. I love that. I love that. We are resilient people, right? I love that. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, Kufu, what you got for me?
Okay, when you talk about preserving, and see, I have 9 siblings. It's 9 of us in all, and we
Hmm.
had the farm. We had chicken, ducks, hogs. Uh,
Hmm.
we raised our own food, and
Yeah.
and I kept doing that. Like last year, I planted. I preserved over 100 quart jars of peppers and okra. I mixed them all, the okra peppers, and I
Mm-hmm.
have a smokehouse. And that with I have a food business. I cook food and stuff. Uh, but I have a smokehouse, and what we would do when we kill hogs, we would
Mm-hmm.
take the hogs and the hams and the link sausage, we would grind them up, and we'll put them in the smokehouse for 28 days. We'll smoke them for about 28 days, 30 a month. And then we let them stay in the smokehouse no matter how hard it got, because they
Mm-hmm.
had cured out. And whatever we wanted to go eat, we'd just go in the smokehouse and put it out and cook it. Those kind of things of you know, you can't get away from the earth, and it just make you it binds you more to the spiritual, the natural order, and you start learning more and more, and then you find the power that you have within yourself. You know, you have the power when you're dealing with somebody. Just when I went to Ethiopia, I went to Haile Selassie's tomb, and the man who was over his tomb, or the guard for his tomb, he was so powerful. I couldn't look him in the eye. His soul, his essence, was so it was so pure or something that I couldn't look him in the eye. And we have that ability to resonate that kind of power. When you
Mm-hmm.
live truth and you live my art, you know, truth is the key. Truth is a light. The light is a fire. You
Mm-hmm.
take a magnifying glass and you take the sun and focus it and see it'll burn. When you focus the light, it becomes fire. And it's the same thing with the truth. The
Mm-hmm.
truth is when any truth, you can't bury it. And when you got it within you, you evolve. You just evolve to a better person.
So the thing that you said that I thought was really important is that we find the power within ourselves. I think through these things that you're saying we should be about doing. Ebonici said we used to grow our own vegetables, build our own houses, sew, teach our children wisdom, astronomy, and other skills. And I would argue that there's a great sense of accomplishment when we do those things. When you build your own house, or you all are building a house for one another. When you sew your own clothes, my mom's on here. She's a seamstress. She teaches people how to sew. There's a great sense of accomplishment, you putting your hands to this fabric and this needle and this thread and making it happen, something that you can wear or that can use to decorate your home, or clothe your children, or whatever the case may be. So um I think we need to find that. Like, we need to find that again, pick that up, because we don't know. We don't control any of these technology tools, but we can control these kind of natural things that we put our hands on and put our minds and our energy and our efforts to. All right. I believe this is Brother Tarek out of Atlanta. Thank you for being here. He said AI technology is a monster. As monsters in the past, they end up being destructive. Mm. All right, thank you for that. Ebonice, ask yourselves, how comfortable are we to sit in silence with our own thoughts and look inwardly for 15 minutes? Mm-hmm. Good question. Most people suffer from arrested development and seek satisfaction in others and outside of themselves. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that, Sister Ebonice. All right. Khufu. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Cork, how do we justify or explain the increase of life expectancy despite the decrease in farming? Hmm. Good question. What's your thoughts about that, Khufu?
You're living longer, but how functioning are you? How much? What are you doing just to be here, just to be living longer? What he's saying, he's making a statement.
How do we justify? Yeah, how do we justify or explain the increase in life expectancy despite the decrease in farming? I think it's my personal thought is that it's a bit of a dynamic situation. There are things that I think are being put in place to uh help with our longevity. Um, I don't know. What's your thought about it, Kufu?
Well, you live long, but what kind of life is it that you live? People back then lived a long time. My family, we got a long life span. 85, 90.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people in my family lived at 85, 90 years old. My granddad was 93.
Okay.
So, you could be living, but you could be propped up with all kind of medicine that you're living longer. But what kind of what world are you living in?
The
Are you
quality
living in
quality of your life, is that what you're getting at?
right, right?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a
It's a
great
good question. It's
That's a
a
good
fair
question,
question
Court.
to ask.
It's
Yeah.
a good question, Court. All right, Frank Hill, please share recommended text for traditional spiritual knowledge and any skill-based books, construction, gardening, etc. Thank you so kindly. Any books or any tools or resources that we can access as it relates to traditional spiritual knowledge and any of the skills that we talked about tonight, Kufu?
Well, okay. I had a vocational trade school, and our motto was uh, building principle people through teaching building principles. Okay, like the compass. In order to draw a circle, you had to be and had to stay center. You have to have a center point to draw a circle. So it was stay center, keep your soul, your spirit centered with the lever. In order to plumb something, to make it straight up, keep your soul plumb straight, be straight up. Uh, the square, we use the square. Be square. Let your soul, your spirit be square. So those building principles, in order to like the master builders, which our ancestors, they understood those principles. They related that to the individual.
Mm,
We human. Like I lay bricks. I do all the sub work, but laying bricks. You lay a brick, stand back and look at your work, because you're gonna have some of them that's not gonna be perfect. Some of them gonna be dipping down the crooked, but you have to go back and straighten them out to make your work look right. To make it take them flaws out. You can't just let them stay. When you got flaws within yourself, you got to really look at them and try to correct them.
mm. Okay,
It-
very
it-
good.
it-
What else you got? So
it-
I think you also, if you do, you have any books that you would
yeah,
recommend?
I have a whole 2 cycles of ancient Egyptian
Okay.
encyclopedia.
Can you get me a list of those books that we can share?
Yeah, I can give. I have Egyptian Book of the Dead, which really the book of coming forth by light. And I have
Okay.
books on rituals like when you go to the weighing of the heart. All those. It's a book called the Husil, and it's by Mata Karinga. I think that's who put it out.
You
The
want to
same
correct
guy
that did
that made
Kwanzaa,
Kwanzaa.
right? Okay, so I'll get that list and put it out. I actually need to put out another list that Joe Ward gave us the other day. So,
Mhm.
all right. Ebonici said we are living longer and worshiping the body, but forgetting that we are spirit sons and daughters having a human experience. Ooh,
That's a good point.
yeah. All right. Miss Maria Jones here in Tallahassee has joined us. Thank you for being here. We're talking artificial intelligence, AI versus spirituality with Brother Weser Khufu here in Tallahassee. Okay, so all right, let's see. Ebonisha said finding your ancestral roots are key. Your ancestral roots are key. In my kingdom, we are the Igala people from the Nile Valley. We read the Book of the Dead and the pyramid texts. All right. Thank you, Sister Abeniche. Okay, so Khufu, you'll get me that list, and any other things that we can do.
Okay, I want to make the sister just read from her. All
Mm-hmm.
right, and I say this to the Christians. All right, you believe in heaven, so when somebody die, where are they? What is your concept of communicating, or do you believe that's demon worship or whatever? And when you look at it, I believe in my ancestors, and we have rituals that we do to, like my father was a brick mason. If he loved mangoes, I set an altar up with some mangoes, and if I had a problem with a job that I didn't know how to figure out the brickwork, I set up an altar, and we have a deer that called Nubis, who's the doorkeeper. He's over the underworld, but all this stuff, you because of how we've been indoctrinated, it's hard for us to get it out of mind to even look at the fact that these things are possible. You know, like they have what people talk about. Oh, the spirit was riding them, a witch was riding them, and that's no more than two people trying to occupy the same body at one time. And it's like you're suffocating if you try to become conscious. I mean, some people they say you're crazy, that's crazy, whatever. But I've seen them run. I've seen them coming. See, all your senses they can work. You can hear, you can see by hearing, you can see by sound. You might have, you can't see it, you don't see it, but you listen to a bird singing. You say, where is he? You can't see him, but you tune in and listen to where is that sound coming from, and you keep listening to. So you're using those senses to locate. You might not see it by sound exactly, but you might hear a certain voice of a sparrow, a mockingbird, or whatever. So all our senses they work together when we really become more. The more spiritual we become, the more all this work together. And
Okay.
you have power that you can radiate. You
Mm.
can touch if your fire clean, you could touch somebody and they could be ill. Something like the Green Mile. That's the
Mhm.
show is the Green Mile. And I believe I experienced it. I don't care what nobody say, but we
Okay.
need to get to the level where we practicing and living our African culture.
Gotcha.
I
All right.
mean,
Yes, Maria said, I am a Christian and listen to direction from God. I remember what my ancestors have told me, and I remember.
yeah.
Ebonice, the book of the celestial cow in ancient Egyptian text tells us how the heavens and mankind were created. Genesis and Revelation come from these Egyptian texts, even the Psalms. All right. Frankel, higher consciousness. Maria, I respect teaching of all. There are benefits to learn from. Thank you. Absolutely. Abonici Revolution 3:14 speaks of the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the Amen Ray from Egypt. Okay. So I want to, and thank you all for your comments. I really appreciate that. Um, I so y'all, I'm gonna be talking about Khufu, even though he right here. I tell Khufu, we need you to, you got the whole down here on the south side of Tallahassee. We need to have a place or a space to do these things, right? So I told Kufu he need to come up with a schedule, like on Fridays or Wednesdays or whatever day it is he picked, whatever day, whatever time that we gonna come down here and do these things, right? So I'm challenging you, Kufu, all right, to come up with a schedule for us to come down here and learn some of these natural skills, okay?
Okay, I accept the challenge.
O
Sometime in April, I'm gonna
okay.
start some
That's
classes.
fine, that's fine, that's fine, that'll be good, that'll be good. Abonici, the Bible in which I have many translations, is still one of my favorites, all right? And, Frankel said emerald tablets. I'm not familiar, but Frankel, you can maybe expound upon that a little bit. Alright, so Kufu, you have something coming up, right?
Yeah, we have the Deep South Coon Cook-Off.
Mhm.
I don't know whether that's February 28th. It started at 8 and go to 8. This is
Okay.
our 18th annual, and it's just a time like what we're doing now to talk to the people and really start discussing where we're going, not just talking, but actually following through with what we say we're going to do.
Alright,
Uh,
so that is on February 28th
mhm.
from
uh,
8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Hole. And what's the Hole's address?
3030 South Adams.
All right, 3030 South Adams. And it's open to the community?
Yes, open to them with no charge. They're charging for parking, but no charge to actually come in.
Okay, very good. All right. So again, Saturday, February 28th, the community is invited to attend the coon cook-off. You're not required to cook or eat coon, but you
It's
can
gonna be other
observe.
food business.
It's gonna be other stuff there too.
Yeah, yeah, other
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Janita, I think the conversation is spiritual and ancestral practices, not much about AI. So there is no verses. Actually, we talked about AI before you joined us, Janita. We kind of the spiritual piece kind of took over because I was trying to pull that out. Like, what does that look like? But yeah, we talked about AI taking jobs and some of the challenges as related to that. All right, Ish, my freshman brother in Gainesville, he said Genesis through Revelations does not come from ancient Egyptian texts. Willing to discuss offline with whomever. Okay, all right. I would like to hear that conversation. Abaniche, she said, I have taken the time to study Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek septa. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. In order to learn to decipher many texts, Emerald Tablets is a great book to start, yet a heavy read. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Khufu, please. It's time for us to wrap it on up. But tell us how we can connect with you. I do have your number and email address here, and give us some closing remarks.
Well, okay. My closing remarks would be Ethiopia, as far as Christianity, the real Christians were the Ethiopians, and the Greeks and the Romans rechanged the Bible to justify slavery, take over. It's the whole thing with gunpowder. That was the technology then. In no way they could win in Africa and some of these other countries if they didn't have gunpowder. So all these things, the era of gunpowder is over. It's a black man time to come up and rule this earth, to bring harmony and balance back to this earth. And the only way we're going to do that is enlighten ourselves, study our African culture. All of us have to come together. I'm not trying to convince a Christian or a Muslim to change their faith. Uh, I just believe I have more power in the true knowledge of myself and with the origin of where religion, we gave the world religion. They didn't give it to us. So that's my point. It's to study the origin of our history, the origin of mankind, and don't be afraid to accept the truth. So
Okay. All right. Very good.
that's my closing statement.
Yes, sir. And so you all can connect with Khufu at his email address, Weser Khufu, WeserKhufu at yahoo.com. And his number is scrolling across the screen. And if you are available on Saturday, February 28th, feel free to stop by the Hole, 3030 South Adams Street, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. For the 18th annual Coon Kickoff. Let me just say something real quick, and particularly to the viewers. Khufu is is one of the few guests that I have that does not mind uh, paying to be on the show to get the word out about what he believes. And I really respect that. And so I thank you, Khufu, for supporting my platform in this way. It does mean a lot to me. I appreciate you. And, I while sometimes the things that we are passionate about, it may feel like nobody is hearing us, or there are more people against what we believe than believe it. I definitely got to respect you for you standing up for what you believe in.
But I know you're closing, but I want to say the same thing. I have the utmost respect for you. And I think people, we what you do is very important, informing the community and informing with real serious issues that going on.
Mm,
And you have bills to pay, I have bills to pay, and we need to support the people who really out there fighting for us. And, I've been in the hole for 28 years, never got a penny, never made a penny. Last year I brought 3,000 plants, planted them, didn't get no help from nobody. And I'm getting 3,000, get a whole lot more than 3,000. And my objective is to be able, when the phantom hit, when really things hit the wall, I want to have goats. I got goats now. We got big lake. I'm stocking it up with tilapia and stuff now. I got big garden area. I got a black African museum, and feeding the mind, feeding the soul, and we need to work together. We
mm-hmm.
need to come. They need to support your show. I said,
Yes.
who else can we go and have a show to express what we believe in? And I'm Pat. I'm a warrior. I ain't on call myself a warrior. Much as I've been through out here fighting these people, and I don't care. I would
Yeah.
use another word, but I don't care. So
God, no, you don't.
we got to stick together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, again, I appreciate you. And folks are chiming in. Uh, Michael Cork, he said much respect. Sister Ebonice, thank you, Brother Khufu, for being a light in the Bible Belt. Uh, Frank Kell giving us some praying hands. Miss Maria Jones, thank you, Nicole and Kufo. She said she'll be there. I think she's gonna come out to the Coon Cook Off.
Okay.
Janita, I appreciate the conversation. I will listen to the replay to catch what I missed. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So for those who may be new to the platform, I invite you to subscribe to Conversations with Nicole. We're here Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Focus on connecting the community through conversation and mental health and wellness. And this definitely tapped into spiritual wellness. So let's keep this conversation going and come on down to the hole and visit Khufu and have a conversation with him because he has a lot to share and a lot to say. All right, good people. I thank you all. Thank you again, Khufu. And we'll see you soon. Y'all take care and have a good night. Bye.